Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jersey Zone. Today I have part 2 of my heritage sweater unboxing. Like I mentioned in that previous video, technically it's not really an unboxing because I got these off of Facebook Marketplace, but still going to show you guys the jersey here. And if you guys did miss that first video, I'll leave a link in the cards up above. Which, speaking of, I realized that I didn't really talk about how special these sweaters are in that first video. I guess I just got caught up in the moment talking about the sweater that I got because I was super excited about it. So yeah, of course I'll go over, kind of the production behind these sweaters in this video here. But before we do get into it, if you guys are new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. All right, let's show you guys what I got. So it is a Toronto St. Pat's heritage sweater. This one is circa 1923, as you can see right down there at the bottom. But yeah, this one, honestly, I actually wasn't really planning on buying it. The guy that I bought both of these sweaters from, so the St. Pat's as well as the New York Americans, he did also have a third sweater up, which was a Chicago Blackhawks one. And when I saw all three up, I was like, okay, well, I definitely need that Americans one. And I sent him an offer asking if he would do like a little bit less for the Americans and the St. Pat's. He said that he already had a lot of offers, so he wasn't really planning on moving his price with the jerseys, or with the sweaters, I should say. So I was like, okay, I probably don't need the St. Pat's one because I've already bought a lot of jerseys recently. Like, I have a jersey to unbox that's already here. I have another one on its way. Plus, I also have another one that I traded as well. So I was like, I don't really need the St. Pat's. Plus, at the same time as well, it is really similar to the Adidas Leafs alternate St. Pat's jersey, not their new one, but their previous one, which makes sense because this sweater is kind of what that one was based on. So it's really similar to that. I don't really need this one here. I decided I was just going to go with the Americans one, but once I actually met up with the guy in person, he showed me this sweater and I was like, wow, that looks way better in person than it does on pictures and on camera. I'm not really quite too sure why. I mean, I feel like pretty much all sweaters and jerseys do look better in person, but this one here, I feel like it's way different. I'm really not quite too sure exactly what it is, but yeah, once I saw this in person, I was like, okay, that is one that I need to get, that is for sure. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna get that one as well. He did go down on his offer a little bit for me, so I appreciated that, but yeah, this one, I was like, okay, definitely need to get this one. I decided to hold off on the Blackhawks one. I still felt like I didn't really need to get that one, but once I got home and thought about it a little bit more, I did sort of regret not grabbing that Blackhawks one, but I'll talk about kind of my reasoning behind that in a little bit. So just with the sweater though, we'll kind of actually show it off because I guess I haven't done that yet. But yeah, you can see just obviously the St. Pat's, it does kind of have that felt logo there. Of course it is, a sweater. And then down at the bottom, like I showed you guys, circa 1923, it's got that little heritage patch, as well as it has it in the collar as well. So you can see that. And just a little bit of a size tag here. With the back of the sweater though, it is just, of course, that one green stripe. Overall, just one that I find, like I said, looks a lot better in person than it does on camera. Not saying that it looks bad on camera, but just in person, definitely improved for sure. Now, the thing that I didn't talk about in my last video that I want to talk about here is when these sweaters were actually produced, because, in my time collecting, I have seen a lot of the CCM Heritage sweaters. I have 2 Leaf sweaters in my collection. These ones here, they were produced by Tricolor Sports, so the Canadian team store. They're not part of that CCM Heritage line. But when I first bought these sweaters, I noticed something a little bit different than what I'm used to. The first one was the circa and then the year date at the bottom. The ones that I have did not have that, so I was like, okay, that's a little bit strange, just something different. And then on top of that as well, the thing that really kind of like almost set off my alarms was the tagging inside the back of the collar. So, that tagging that I showed before, it is pretty much the exact same that's in the bottom left-hand side of the sweater. And when I looked at my other sweaters, it is a completely different tag. So this is basically a tag that you would see in just like one of the regular CCM jerseys at the time. So it is a completely different thing. And like I said, there's no like circa at the bottom. It still does have kind of around the same tag, like in the bottom left, but it just does not show up inside the back of the collar. And before the listing, I'm pretty sure that I've never seen a St. Pat's in a sweater form like this. I've seen other St. Pat's designs in sweater form, but not this one here, as well as the Americans one looked way different than what I'm used to. With a lot of the American sweaters that I've seen online, the New York text was just stitched directly onto the jersey. However, with mine, New and York are placed on separate patches that are then stitched onto the jersey, or onto the sweater, I should say. So I was like, are these fake sweaters? Do they even make fake sweaters? Like, what is going on here? Before I bought the sweaters, I did do some digging, and I'll link to a blog post in the description down below that really helped me out, to be honest. But I found out that there were actually different generations of those CCM Heritage sweaters. The ones that I was more familiar with were actually from the second generation and were made from about 2002 to 2004. There were around 34 of those sweaters made, and that is where my Leaf sweaters come from. That is where my knowledge of the New York Americans ones came from as well, and it's basically most of the sweaters, the heritage sweaters that you see online, I feel like are from that second generation. However, the two that I just picked up, the St. Pat's and the Americans, those are actually from the first generation of those CCM heritage sweaters, which were made from 1992 until 1994. And man, I have to say, there are some beauties in that first generation that I honestly didn't even know that they made throwback sweaters of. So they look super, super sick. I just want to show you guys this amazing picture that I found. It was posted on the Hockey Jersey subreddit a couple of years ago. I know he is also a member of the Hockey Jersey Discord, but yeah, this picture here shows all 18 of these first generation CCM heritage sweaters, and it is an insane, amazing picture. It has the Montreal Maroons there, the Philadelphia Quakers, the Hamilton Tigers, the Portland Rosebuds, the St. Louis Eagles. Like, it is just unbelievable. this is an insane collection, and when I saw this picture, I was like, oh my god, do I have a new addiction? Do I need all of these sweaters? I think I do. And so that's when I was like, oh, maybe I should go back and get that Blackhawk sweater. Thankfully, though, I kind of sobered up a little bit, and I was like, okay, realistically, how many of these are you actually going to get? Because these are like the only ones that I've really seen, and the ones that I picked up are really the only first generation ones that I've seen, or at least paid attention to. Maybe I have seen them around and I just didn't really realize it. But, you know, like, there is no shot that I'm going to get some of these sweaters here. I know that they're super, super rare, and on top of that as well, extremely expensive. So after like an hour or two, I kind of calmed down a little bit and was like, okay, I'm not going to get all of these. I don't need to go back and get that Blackhawk sweater. So I didn't do that, but yeah, like, just looking at some of these, like, man, I would really, really want especially the Philadelphia Quakers, the Portland Rosebuds, and the St. Louis Eagles, like those ones specifically, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats actually as well. Those, I think, 4 would be ones that I would just die to get in my collection. I think those would just be so, so cool. I'd be so happy if I was able to get those. Another interesting thing also about that first generation as well is the fact that they're all just one size. Like, literally the tag in the back of the collar just says one size, and that's it. There's no medium or large or extra large or anything like that they implemented into that second generation. So yeah, these sweaters here are kind of just basically made for collections. Like, I don't really think you are made to really wear them all too much unless you can fit in them, but I sure as hell can't. I'm way too small for that is for sure. Lastly, it's kind of interesting because the materials are a little bit different depending on the generation. Like, the second generation is a little bit heavier than the first. The first, though, is made out of 70% acrylic and then 30% wool, while the second generation is just 100% acrylic. So I kind of wanted to include that as well because I saw someone comment on my previous video about, you know, what they were actually made out of. So yeah, it's a little bit heavier, not too much, but it is still there for sure. But yeah, once I kind of realized how rare those sweaters were, I definitely needed to pick them up, that is for sure, and very, very happy, especially with that Americans one. That Americans one, I am super glad to have in my collection. The St. Pat's one, you know, I am, of course, as well, but that Americans one, I've been wanting for so darn long, so the fact that I even got kind of a rarer version of the one that I was expecting to get, yeah, makes me very, very happy, that is for sure. But let me know what you guys think about these sweaters in the comments down below. Do you guys have any of these first generation CCM heritage sweaters? I'd love to hear it. But yeah, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on all my social medias. But like I said, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.